what started out as a small community project into this Soul of Iron system that became a centerpiece of Season of Mastery and a whole new opt-in hardcore mode that we've seen communities built around.
Yep.
Lots of, thrilling victory and painful defeat.
5 hours. I made it 5 hours.
I don't know if you missed Blizzard's 2022 version of BlizzCon Online where they were doing their next retail expansion reveal, but I nearly fell over when they mentioned the hardcore community in their opening ceremony. What's going on, everybody? I want to share my thoughts on yesterday's expansion reveal event and the overall feeling I got from the Warcraft team and their motivation towards the future of Classic WoW. I'll just start by saying it was a much different feeling than last year when they announced TBC, and they felt even more receptive and welcoming since when they originally released Classic in 2019. Don't forget to like the video, come stop by on my Twitch to share your thoughts, and let's just start by watching yesterday's intro in full.
So WoW Classic came about because of the community.
Yeah, they continue to help guide and support us as Classic evolves.
World of Warcraft has always been about the world and the players that inhabit it. And we are, in a lot of ways, curators and caretakers of that journey and of that experience. And so once this Classic community formed and grew, we had to listen to them.
It's this tide of listening to the community and paying attention to what is a good experience for our players now. And where we really saw a sea change in this idea is with our Season of Mastery realm, which is a Season of Fresh Start Classic. And initially we were talking about it like it was going to be like a fresh start. Let's try this experiment in a season. It'll be about a year long. And then when the community found out about it, we started seeing this upswell.
Yeah, the team just took that idea and ran with it and turned, what started out as a small community project into this Soul of Iron system that became a centerpiece of Season of Mastery and a whole new opt-in hardcore mode that we've seen communities built around.
Yep.
Lots of, thrilling victory and painful defeat.
5 hours. I made it 5 hours.
Yeah. And it continues, like Burning Crusade Classic. We wanted to balance the Paladin seals between Horde and Alliance, so we made an addition there. We wouldn't have gotten there without the community's input.
As the years have gone on since Classic's release in 2019, it feels like the Warcraft team has taken the Classic player base much more seriously and making a genuine attempt to develop and provide a certain version of the game this legacy fan base wants. When they originally released Classic, it felt like the developers just disappeared and let the game play out on its own. And in all fairness, I think that may have been the best move at the time, to be completely hands-off and let the boomers have their game, relive the glory days from 15 years ago. And with TBC being released, they had this awkward stage of needing to appeal to Classic players who wanted to stay in Classic forever, but paywalled them with a $15 fee to clone your character to these era servers. On the flip side, they were receptive of community feedback and allowed you to level Blood Elves and Draenei in the pre-patch, which I think the majority of the community was asking for. They adjusted Paladin seals for both factions based off of community feedback. During the TBC beta and raid test days on Magtheridon's Lair and Gruul's Lair, they offered pre-nerf version of these bosses requested by the community. During Phase 2 of TBC, SSC and TK had their pre-nerf values in place for over 2 months by request to the community, and in between all of this, Blizzard announced Season of Mastery, a Classic Fresh that would be a sped-up seasonal server while experimenting with the idea of Classic Plus changes that the community seems to always be asking for. After looking at how the last few years of Classic has played out, I think it's fair to assume if there's a demand for something, Blizzard's going to provide that service. If you've heard about or followed the One Life hardcore community in Classic WoW over the last 2 years, they've got over 17,000 members in the Discord, hosted nearly 10 different leveling competitions, and reignited people's love for leveling in Classic WoW. And with the launch of Season of Mastery, they hosted the Road to Ragnaros event where the community wanted to see if it was possible to not only get an entire raid team to level 60 without dying, but farm Priebus in level 60 dungeons and kill Ragnaros, which they successfully pulled off on both regions for NA and EU. In anticipation of the event, Blizzard added the Soul of Iron buff into the game to help validate the community's event and provide this opt-in hardcore mode that Ian mentioned in the clip earlier. With the way Classic has panned out over the last few years and the support the player base has gotten from the company, I think it's fair to say real One Life hardcore servers are in the works and will make an appearance during either Season of Mastery 2 or sometime after Wrath of the Lich King has played its course and they decide to move on to Cataclysm Classic or continue to re-release the trilogy of Classic WoW. Tell me what you guys think. Will we get hardcore servers in the near future, or is this just another case of you think you do, but you don't? Peace.